As you've probably noticed, the last few years have been dominated by bold colours, incredible gradients, and futuristic compositions. But in 2020, the graphic design world's going to feel a lot more reserved, natural, and harmonious. Today, I'm going to talk you through the top 8 graphic design trends that you need to know for 2020, so stay tuned. Hey folk, Alice from Vengage here. Today we're going to be talking all about the top graphic design trends that you need to keep an eye out for in 2020. Check out our graphic design trends blog. I'll pop a link in the bio below for the full rundown of all of the trends. And if you like design tip videos and videos with my face in them, make sure that you subscribe to Vengage for more. Not all of the videos have my face in, so don't worry about that. Okay, so let's get started with our top graphic design trends for 2020. At number 8, we have better branded animations. Animation is going to be big news in 2020, especially branded animation. You'll most commonly see these popping up as GIFs. GIF, GIF, GIF? I think it's safe to say that reaction GIFs are used so frequently they're just part of how we communicate now. But because they're used so much, these type of GIFs have lost their original punch. Now, I'm not saying that you should stop using these type of GIFs, I'm just saying that in 2020 it's time to think about creating your own. That's what we mean by better branded animations. It's pretty easy to create your own branded animations even if you don't have a designer on staff, and doing so will really help you stand out in 2020, especially in the crowded world of digital media. Check out this GIF from Revolt to help celebrate a user milestone. You can imagine this exact post of the Friends reaction GIF, or that one of Drake dancing. But by creating their own GIF, they help reinforce their company branding. You've probably already started noticing this sort of branded animation on social media, but keep an eye out because you're going to see them everywhere in 2020. From website homepages to landing pages to blog posts. Which brings us nicely to trend number 7. Minimalist landing pages. Now, minimalistic landing pages is a trend that all of us in the SEO world love. Not only does it look great, it really helps reduce web page loading time. And just in case that means nothing to you, let me explain. Google tends to rank pages that load quicker higher up in the search results. The higher up in the search results your page is, the more people click on your page. Simple. We can see here that the minimalistic landing page trend is taking the tech world by storm, with clean white backgrounds and pops of colour in the form of text and illustrations. Another positive aspect of these minimalistic pages is that they're a lot easier to navigate for the user. Instead of distracting background elements, the messaging or information stands out instantly. Using a simple and clean layout can also help push your user towards your call to action. See how well this sign up button stands out on the web page? Little user experience decisions like this can really help convert readers into long-time users of your product or service. So just remember that in 2020, a picture isn't worth 1,000 words, especially if it increases page load time. Trend number 6. Genuine, subdued, and neutral stock photos. A few years ago, with bright colours dominating the world, we saw a lot of bold and colourful stock photos. Designers were cranking up the contrast or boosting the colours, and some of the photos didn't even look real. But once colour trends start to shift, the sort of stock photos that are popular tend to move as well. That means in 2020 expect to see a lot more genuine, muted, and natural stock photos. For example, these photos really look like something that your trendy friend might have posted on Instagram. In the recent past, the contrast on those photos would have been enhanced to really make the colours pop. But in 2020, we are toning it down. Think gingham, not Mayfair. Muted colour palettes make graphics seem more natural and authentic, so drop that contrast and keep it subdued. Alongside this, the trend for natural, candid and unposed models in stock photography continues as well. Basically, you want your stock photos to look like something that your trendiest friend might post on the gram, and you'll be sorted. Trend number 5. Beautiful flowing shapes and lines. Designers are going to continue to push the envelope in 2020, rejecting the rigid shapes, geometric patterns and straight lines that were once so popular. These will be replaced with something much more flowing and soft. A designer can use flowing shapes and lines to make their graphics seem more down to earth, creative and authentic. When compared to geometric shapes, these shapes are a lot more easy on the eyes of the viewer. For example, HubSpot, which is a massive company and has over 1,000 employees, has been using a lot more flowing shapes recently. This plays well off for other large enterprise companies that seem to use more rigid graphics. It really helps differentiate them. So make sure you jump into this flowing shape trend while it's still hot, especially if you want to be seen as a modern, relatable or boutique company. Trend number 4. Heavy but simple fonts. It looks like in 2020 that light, handwritten fonts might lose some of their popularity. This shouldn't come as a huge surprise to anybody who's been paying attention to the design world over the last few years. This year things are getting bolder, with heavily weighted fonts being used a lot more frequently. Heavy fonts usually refer to a bold or extra bold font because they're, well, heavier. Heavy fonts are great for adding contrast and drama into your design, like in this example. Try to only use heavy fonts when you've only got a short bit of text, like a header. They can also become the main focal points of a graphic, especially on social media when you want to get your message across quickly and clearly. In these examples from Hootsuite, there isn't much to the graphic, but the bold font still catches your eye. Just remember, when using any sort of heavy or bold font, don't overuse it. Use it sparingly to grab attention. Trend number 3. Abstract and dreamy illustrations. So companies have been using illustrations for quite a while now, so your brand needs to work even harder to stand out. Using completely unique, abstract illustrations will guarantee that no other brand looks like yours. Check out this example from Dropbox, and these from Doist. Both similar concepts, but completely different executions. The one thing to remember is that when you're working with abstract graphics like these, you need to make sure that your audience can deduce what the meaning of the graphic is, especially if it's been used in a business or marketing context. And it's not just the small fish diving into the world of abstract illustration. Even the mega giant of Apple are using dreamy drawings within their stores. So get drawing, get dreamy, and get abstract. Okay, so our second trend is color gradients. I know we said it last year, but gradients are here to stay. 2020 will be another year full of gradient wonderfulness. A little history lesson for you. Back in 2018, gradients emerged from the hibernation after being everywhere in the 90s. Word out, anybody? They came back in 2018 as backgrounds and color overlays, adding a level of depth to designs. And then in 2019, that trend continued as gradients became the focal point of graphics and shapes. And in 2020, gradients will be used as a design enhancer. Now, what do we mean by design enhancer? We basically mean it will be used as an extra rather than the main body of the design. Like here in the text, or here on the screen. When gradients are used as backgrounds, they'll be a lot more subtle than before, like in this example. So in 2020, gradients as an effect, not the main focus. And finally, drum roll please, our top trend of 2020 is muted colour palettes. Over the past few years, we've seen the rise of bold colours as brands try to differentiate themselves from their competitors. We've seen bright blues, yellows, greens and pinks in the trend charts. However, in 2020, we're going to see designers and brands take a step back from those bright colours and tend towards a more muted palette. Now, these are some of the examples of the muted palettes that you might see. Muted colours are colours that have been slightly desaturated with black, white or a complementary colour. They're basically the opposite of vivid colours. But don't worry, the design world isn't going to get less colourful this year. The colour might just be a little more reserved. Muted colours can help your designs feel a lot more natural, and trendy lifestyle brands are taking notice. Check out this example from ClassPass, or this example from Zoom. So if you're looking to update your graphics for 2020, the number one tip I can give you is to update your colour palette. You can even use your brand colours as a starting point and build a whole secondary colour palette by adding more black or white to your brand colours. Okay, so those are our top 8 design tips for 2020. If you like this video, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment below to let us know which trend you're most looking forward to. Bye!